I'm back from a weekend of completely nerding out about plants. I had the opportunity to attend Cultivate this year, and Cultivate, if you didn't know, is the plant industry's largest conference, and it was huge and overwhelming. There was everything from automation and machinery equipment to, of course, the newest varieties of annuals, perennials, shrubs, hydrangeas, and everything in between. I was attending and playing the role of total plant nerd, soaking it all in. I also had the opportunity to speak and give my best tips for social media, which was an absolute joy and so fun. I wasn't planning on making any sort of videos or summarizing my experience at Cultivate. I didn't go to the conference with the idea of making some sort of recap video, but after I saw a couple of hydrangeas that I was really excited about, I knew I had to come on here and tell you all about it. These are going to be varieties that are going to be available next year, and I loved being able to see all of them in real life, not just marketing photos and getting to touch them. And I don't know, that sounds really weird, but touching and seeing plants all in one space, all in bloom, made it easier to refine the list of like, this is going to be a cool hydrangea and I need to find a spot for it in my garden. And this is one that maybe I can pass on. So without further ado, these are the 5 standout hydrangeas that I saw at Cultivate and am going to be adding to my hydrangea wish list. These are in no particular order because they each have equally exciting things. But I want to start off with the Centennial Ruby hydrangea. And this is a hydrangea that I basically had to wait in line to film. There seemed to always be a crowd around it, and eventually I got really brave and kind of elbowed my way in. But this hydrangea has one of the most striking colors I've ever seen on a hydrangea. It has a deep wine, maroon, burgundy bloom color. I've never seen anything like it, and I guess the rest of the folks at the conference had also not, because I had to kind of elbow my way in there in order to get up close and personal with the hydrangea. In ideal climates, this hydrangea will look good for 100 days, which is an incredibly impressive amount of time. Allegedly, and I didn't see it because these were not aged blooms on this hydrangea, but allegedly as the hydrangea blooms age, they get darker and darker and almost turn into a black. So if you're going for the goth garden aesthetic, this might be one that you want to add to your wish list. Aside from that, it's a hydrangea that's relatively compact. This is a microphylla hydrangea, but this is a newer hybrid. So once the hydrangea reaches maturity in your garden, it should bloom on both old and new wood for you. When I spoke to the team at Monrovia, next year they're releasing 100 hydrangeas and they're going to make them limited edition. Next year, Monrovia is celebrating their 100th year anniversary, and I can't think of a more beautiful way than with this gorgeous tribute hydrangea. If this is a hydrangea that you have to get your hands on ASAP, I would recommend following Monrovia on social media or subscribing to their email list. That way you will get the latest and greatest information on how to get your hands on that hydrangea in 2026. Otherwise, you'll wait for 2027 where they will be more widely available. But if you're one of these, I have to have it. That's going to be a fun one to collect next year. The next hydrangea that I became obsessed with, this is hydrangea bubble bath. This is a hydrangea paniculata that stays 2 to 3 feet tall. It was absolutely covered in blooms. And as a small space gardener that loves hydrangeas that bloom on new wood, because I'm also a lazy gardener, I appreciate any and all attempts to make hydrangea paniculata even cuter. One of my favorite hydrangeas that I planted this year was hydrangea early evolution. It is a hydrangea that stays under 2 feet tall. This bubble bath is going to be another paniculata variety to look out for. It will stay under 3 feet tall. And of course, I'm going to have to find a place in my garden because I'll have to compare the two in performance. They have completely different looks. The hydrangea early evolution is more of an open bloom structure. It's very airy and beautiful. The bubble bath hydrangea looks more like a tiny version of a limelight hydrangea. Huge, huge blooms, tiny, tiny body. This is going to be a very cute one for that middle layer in the garden, and I am just super excited about it, so I wanted to share it with you. This is the newest introduction from Bloomin' Easy that'll be available in retail in 2026, and I think one that is going to be very versatile in a full sun garden. Next up is another hydrangea paniculata. This one gets a little bit taller, but this one has some unique properties, especially if you're a southern gardener like me. If you planted limelight, you might be disappointed, wondering why your limelights never turn pink, but instead they just go straight to brown. And that is because paniculata hydrangeas actually don't love the hot temperatures, and they prefer some cooler temperatures to get that pink color change. Somehow this newest hydrangea release from First Editions took care of that. It's called Spring Sizzle. It is one of the earliest blooming panicle hydrangea varieties, which I have another early blooming panicle hydrangea variety, so I'm really excited to put that to the test. But allegedly, very, very early blooming panicle, and it's a panicle variety that'll turn pink. That means your hydrangea is going to look gorgeous for a really long time, because first you're gonna get the bud stage, which is the excitement and really beautiful stage. They look like little pearls, or I don't know. For me, I get really excited from the first moment that I see those buds start to color up. Then your hydrangea will open, you get a stage of white, and then as your hydrangea ages, instead of going straight brown, you're gonna get a beautiful pink color. And then the photos that I saw from the Athens trial garden, they even aged to a more deep maroon color. So that's gonna be quite the color bombshell in the garden. Long season of interest. For a paniculata hydrangea, it is fairly compact. I think if I'm remembering correctly, it stays under 6 feet. This is something that you can put towards the back of your border. The photos that I saw from the trial garden, this is a hydrangea that blooms prolifically. And it basically looks like a giant rounded mound of hydrangea blooms. I think it's one that you can expect to behave and create almost like a globe, a sphere of color in your garden. I'm talking really fast and just focusing on the highlights because I don't think this needs to be the longest video ever. This is just our video where we're making notes and jotting down the things we need to leave some space for in our 2026 or 2027 garden. The next hydrangea that I want to tell you about is Blast from the Pastel. I guess it's a play on Blast from the Past. This is a new one that's coming out from Southern Living Plant Collection, and this flower shape was the most unique lace cap hydrangea that I've ever seen. I'm normally not the biggest fan of lace cap hydrangeas. I know the pollinators love lace cap hydrangeas more than your closed mop head hydrangeas, and so I mostly plant them for pollinators, but this is one that I would plant just for me. It reminds me of Fuji Waterfall, which I have planted, and that was a garden tour favorite. So many people stopped to ask me about Fuji Waterfall hydrangea when I opened up my garden for the American Hydrangea Society garden tour. But instead of these long flower shoots, the double flowers sat right on the hydrangea head. So from far away, it almost looked like a flatter mop head hydrangea. But once you got closer, you could see the lace cap structure. I am such a sucker for double lace cap flowers. I think they're so beautiful. So I'm really excited about this one, not only for the flower function, but also the unique flower color. This is a pastel pink. It ages to that pastel green. I love soft muted colors in the garden. I think it also echoes the 2026 Garden Media Trends Color of the Year, which is a light rosy muted pink. If you're into following garden trends, then you are right on trend if you're adding this hydrangea to your garden. Unfortunately, this hydrangea was a diva and bloomed earlier than Cultivate, so we're getting the aged bloom color, which is still a very beautiful, gorgeous light green. I think this is available in retail next year, 2026, but it is very, very pretty. It's got a unique flower form and structure and also flower color that makes it really stand out in a garden. Otherwise, I think size, it's your regular-ish compact hydrangea size. So between 3 to 4 feet at maturity, something you can definitely tuck into your garden if you've got a bare spot that has that part sun to dappled sun lighting. I can't really speak to its habit or how it grows or the lighting conditions that it likes here in Atlanta. If I'm able to get my hands on all of these hydrangeas, that will have to be a follow-up video that I'll make at some point. And then last but not least is the Gatsby Gal Ball. It is an oak leaf hydrangea that is little. Again, I'm so sorry about this repeating theme of compact hydrangeas, but I'm guessing if you follow me, you might also have a smaller space. This is an oak leaf hydrangea coming out from Proven Winners that stays under 4 feet tall. It is a compact version of the Gatsby Gal hydrangea, and it looked incredibly adorable there at Cultivate. I have a soft spot for oak leaf hydrangeas. They are excellent hydrangeas because they have such a long season of interest. Oak leaf hydrangeas, which first off, they are native, so you get that aspect and benefit to the pollinators. They'll start budding up and blooming around the same time that your mop head hydrangeas are blooming. Those blooms age really nicely over the summer season. So again, a really long season of flower power. And then the unique thing about oak leaf hydrangeas is that those leaves will have some fall color. You'll get some yellows and reds as the seasons turn. And then once the leaves are gone, The bark on oak leaf hydrangeas actually looks like a cinnamon stick. It's a bit of an orangier color. It's different from the other hydrangeas. It's up to you whether you think that's winter interest or not, but I'll just say it's a unique feature about oak leaf hydrangeas that other hydrangeas don't have. And that's my super quickie run through of the exciting hydrangea varieties that I saw at Cultivate this year. Most of these varieties will be out in stores next year, so as you're dreaming this time of year or into the winter and you're trying to think out new garden spaces in your garden, or man, I really need a cool hydrangea that would fit this hole in my garden, these are the hydrangeas that really got me excited at Cultivate and are super unique looking. I'm gonna end this video like I end all of my videos. I just wanted to say thank you for watching this video. Thank you for supporting my channel, and I will see you in the next video.